the day that I left. I shouldn't have left. I mean, honestly, because we did so well. And I have this piece of glass here, but all we have really over here is the fake news, right? And to get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news. And I don't mind that so much.
What are we doing? He's gonna be president? You're telling me in a day he's gonna have been elected once again? One of his closing arguments, disciplined candidate that he is, if I was to be attacked again, maybe they'll kill some media trying to get to me, and I don't mind that so much. And a bunch of his closest supporters are like, yeah, maybe they'll kill a CNN reporter or something. Maybe the New York Times will lose a few reporters. They'll get shot. It's objectively terrible on like 1,000 different levels. I just want to remind everyone. No, actually, sorry. I'm not going to remind everyone. I'm going to remind Donald Trump because clearly he doesn't remember. You know that somebody already died at one of your rallies, right? They were shot when someone was trying to get you. That already happened. A person is already dead. Like if you're the family members of the guy who died and you're hearing him now as a punchline talking about people being caught in the crossfire and murdered at his rally, it's a laugh line that gets laughs. This guy is gonna be, look, obviously we use evocative language to describe him and his movement, authoritarian, proto-dictator, fascist, those sorts of things. This is the sort of thing that's floating around in my mind when I talk about those things. The fact that he is constantly glorifying the murder of people he disagrees with to a laughing crowd that likes and wants that commentary. And anyone who's critical of him and instantly elevates themselves for inclusion in his enemies, his literal enemies list.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
So as a fellow member of the media, Francesca, who might well be at an event like this, what do you make of his comments? Again, coming a day or two before the election.
I mean, I do think that, the Trump years prove something to us that, the fifth estate is not safe, that journalists are increasingly targets, and that is very part and parcel and a characteristic of fascistic authoritarian movements and political movements. And so absolutely, I mean, you could see the ways in which, a company like Google or like Amazon that owns Twitch or places that we currently, run on might say, you know what, in a new Trump administration, I want to curry favor with him. So I'm going to deliberately, even more so, tweak the algorithm to make sure that pro-Trump and right-leaning voices surge to the top, right? Or you get fined for saying something like drawing a parallel between Donald Trump and the very fascistic movements that he idolizes, right? Like Hitler and the Nazis. I mean, like, it is terrifying. And here we are. And this is the closing argument, which is wild to me. At some point, even I thought, surely Donald Trump and the campaign, surely, Stephen Chung, somewhere buried in his dark heart, he would be like, you know what, we should actually try to appeal to people, not threaten them. Maybe we should try to reach out to the undecided voter. Maybe we shouldn't have, comedians making snarky comments about how entire groups of people are trash. Maybe we should try to reach out to women instead of saying, I'm going to protect you whether you like it or not. Like maybe there should be some sort of economic and or healthcare plan other than concepts of a plan. And, but things were better under me, weren't they? Like there is no economic plan. There's literally no plan. Yeah. So instead, there's purely hate. There's grievance and hate, and that has to suffice for anyone thinking of voting for Trump. I want to tell you, your life will be better under him, but it won't. It truly, unless you are a millionaire or a billionaire and you are deeply afraid of paying a fraction more in taxes, which you can absolutely afford, then I don't know why you would ever do this. But it's I don't know, John, like, If this was your campaign to run, would you be comfortable right now with the state of it?
I mean, I don't think anyone working for him likes almost anything about what he's doing, because they know how elementary winning this thing could have been if he had the impulse control of a well-adjusted 6-year-old boy. He could be winning this thing by like 8 points. Instead, he's doing this. Now they're not going to be honest because they're all deep liars, perfectly happy to help usher in American fascism. Here's an example. This is Stephen Chung. You referenced him, I think. He said, the president's statement about protective glass placement has nothing to do with the media being harmed or anything else. It was about threats against him that were spurred on by dangerous rhetoric from Democrats. In fact, President Trump was stating that the media was in danger, in that they were protecting him and therefore were in great danger themselves and should have had a glass protective shield also. There can be no other interpretation of what was said. Well, you know, I'm, I guess, just a bold enough man to try to do the impossible. I'm going to try to interpret in a different way. So he's saying they're in danger. He wants them to be protected. He said, but all we really have over here is the fake news, right? And to get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news. And I don't mind that so much. I don't mind. Stephen Chung, he said it twice. Did he stutter? Like okay. It is times like this and only times like this that for a brief second, I wish I wasn't an atheist. I wish that I could believe in some sort of incendiary afterlife, because if that place were to exist, there's no way that Stephen Chung would not be boiling in it for all of eternity, telling these sorts of obvious, grotesque lies to cover up for a fascist who is threatening the lives of the media covering him. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's all a collective delusion. It's not actually going to happen, so he's going to be fine. Well, his life is probably a living hell. I refuse to believe a person like that could be remotely happy. But final point to you.
I mean, it's just hoping the lepers never eat your face, right? It's all lies. It's all doing the bidding of Donald Trump until the mob wants your head and neck in a noose, like Mike Pence, until your staff is running for their lives and Donald Trump is sitting, drinking a Diet Coke and enjoying every single minute of it and truly wishes you harm. And look, remember in the first 4 years of Donald Trump, people were deported from this country. People were rounded up. And I remember we did some, some reporting on this, and Trump voters themselves were like, oh, I was afraid of other migrants, but not Jose, my friend. Like literally, they were like, that's my neighbor. No.
Very leopards.
Very leopards. It's all fine and good, but the leopards eating my face, I wanted the face eating leopard party, but not this.
Yeah, I wanted to watch other people's faces get eaten. By the way, when Joe Biden made his actual comment that the people supporting Trump, the people around him are garbage, you're going to take a look at what Stephen Chung just said and tell me that I'm a bad guy if I call that garbage? Lying to your face about a guy who just led a crowd to applaud the murder of journalists? I would be the bad guy in that? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.